Wherever you wanna go, just what we'll find a place for you.
All good. Thanks a lot, guys, to join today. As we discussed about, we're just gonna try to help people just to find a better way to manage their social presence. Hang on, is presence a word?
Social presence.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, yeah, maybe. All right. But yeah, to manage like a good image on social media and internet in general, because I mean, we all know the situation, like we've created accounts in almost every corner on the internet for many different things. And sometimes we kind of lose track of everything. Like, if you want to start with a statistic, there is like 2.7 billion Facebook accounts. So I just let you think with that. That's quite a lot. But in the same way, I mean, there is a lot of people that have different profiles and everywhere, but that can also attract and give a bad impressions for recruiters. We're here talking about the situation where you're actually finding, looking for a job. You guys see a lot of profiles every day and every week. What is for you like the biggest red flag on any profile, be it on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or anywhere? What's like the biggest red flag for you guys?
I would say personally, mainly it's the profiles that don't have a face. Usually, there's it's a first red flag. I would say maybe there's a reason for him to be hiding his face from on his social or her social media. I mean, a picture of something or a quote, maybe a quote I'm fine with, rather than a picture of a lion or a picture of or something like this, and then I tend to not take it too seriously unless you can prove me otherwise, basically.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, we talked about it also in another podcast. The fact that I mean, we don't care how you look as long as we see you. Like you see the interaction, because at the end of the day, it's still like human versus human. So like when you can,
Definitely. Yeah, and I don't believe people are that afraid of, I mean, their life that they've been on Facebook. I don't believe that they don't have one picture that they're okay with putting up on Facebook. So that gets me quite wary about this person already. Yeah.
I'm gonna build on what Nick said. I'll say I understand why people sometimes don't want to put their full name, or like some people are very protective of their data, and there should be enough space to do that. But as Nick say, like one picture of you or a quote, or you from a distance. I mean, a picture, if you don't want to put a picture of you, then a picture of you like far away standing on a mountain side, whatever, standing on the beach far away is fine enough. You don't have to have your whole face there if you're afraid of face recognition, or you don't have to have your full name, but a clearly fake name is something that really turns me on. Like, if my name is Linda and I don't need to mention my entire name, I can just be Linda, or you can, some people take Linda, that's also okay, but a fully fake name, that's just weird. And as Nick say, I have a hard time taking it serious.
Yeah, there's a
Especially
lot
when you
of
when you're looking for a job. I mean, some part of you must be serious then. Some really big red flag I will say is that I experience people, it's fun and everything, and maybe it's a dress up thing, maybe it's from Halloween, but pictures with blood on, or you looking scary with a lot of tattoos on your face or piercings everywhere, and that might be you, and that's fair, but as the first impression, I mean, I don't mind that, but you can show it in an artistic way. If it's just a close up with a lot of piercings or blood or whatever you're into, that's I'm looking for mainstream, and it sounds really boring, but that's what recruiters are looking for. You're looking for somebody who can fit in everywhere for at least the first impression.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fears, first of all, that their social media will be hacked. So I understand, as you were saying, the reasoning behind people's not putting picture or changing pictures, how we were saying. But a lot of them, they tend to they tend to give an empty profile, an empty picture of it. So you don't know who you're talking to at all, basically.
Yeah, but that's the thing also because of course, like still people are kind of aware, and if they are looking for a job, they might put some things in private or just remove anything. But as you mentioned, like I presume, like I don't know, but I assume like you would prefer like someone with a profile that still has some kind of life. I mean, things happening that nothing at all on it, right? I
I
mean,
think for a long time people have been afraid, and I know, for instance, in the Nordic countries, we've been told when we're younger, oh, if you have too much presence or too many pictures from the beach or too many party pictures on your Instagram or your Facebook, we will find it, we will see it. Yes, all right, that's true. But I think as social media has become more and more normal, and I mean, looking for a job on Facebook is normal now. It wasn't normal 10 years ago. People also know that this is a part where people live their life. And it sounds sad, it sounds strange, but you live your life presence on social media most of the times. You said yourself how many different accounts there's on Facebook. Um, so I don't think it's something that people should be scared of. You should live your life. And if you look absolutely stunning in that bikini, put up that photo. Just think about doing it in a respectful way, because people will be looking. However, when that being said, when I'm looking for a candidate for a customer service job, an entry level position, IT support, I like that people have a life. I'm not looking for somebody who doesn't have a life. I'm looking for somebody who likes to travel because I provide you jobs abroad. So if you only have pictures from your mom's basement, I mean that you might not be the profile I'm looking for. So do it in a respectful and, if I can say, a classy way. But you can get away with a lot of things if you match the picture with the text. Um, show a sense of humor as well. Like,
Yeah. There's a bit of a lack of understanding how much Facebook takes a role in you getting recruited as well. Yeah. Because they are going to look up your Facebook, big grasp of the personality that you are. Because all they think is, mostly people think that's for my friends. So I'm going to show myself, as you were saying, with this, cool mask on, or with, there's a lot of different. I've seen a lot of people with weed smoking, like this, like it was normal for them, and they're on their perfect picture, which is normally where they're from, in Amsterdam or in California. I don't know. But obviously it's going to paint a certain picture of you. It might sound shallow, because you say, oh, this is not who I really am, and who I really am is really a fantastic person, and whoever this recruiter is should look deeper than that. Which, yes, it's true, I agree, but at the end of the day, it's the painting, the first thing you see before you see the data is what sells.
well, I forgot, I muted myself. But yeah, as you said, that's very true also. And do you think, like, on the same note, because we talked about like having lives on different social media, that's true. Like a lot of people share their pictures or information, or I mean, a lot of things everywhere. Do you think, like, when they are looking for a job or like for a CV, for example, like they need to include all of that? For example, like you can have a look to LinkedIn is obviously the most like frequent one, that's for sure. But like maybe if there is interesting stuff that they are doing on Facebook or Instagram, like that, maybe they can share it. Like if they have, I don't know, like a side activity or something that they like to, I don't know, ski or something, and they have
if it's relevant,
yeah.
I will say, because if you're looking for a job as a, I don't know, as a private assistant in a law firm, is it relevant that you like skiing? Isn't it more relevant to focus on the fact that you have the background, you have the education and everything that you need for the job? If you're looking for a sales position, maybe it's not relevant. However, if you're looking for a job, let me mention language travels. If you're looking for a job there and you've been super engaged in a student organization that is super present on Facebook, and you have a lot of pictures from that showing that you're out and about with students, and it's something that's relevant for the position that you're applying for with EF language travel, then it's more than okay to link. See here, find more of my background here, because it's relevant. But really look into, is it relevant? I mean, if you're applying for a job, being an influencer on Instagram, yes, your Instagram is relevant, because that shows how you can do the job. But are you applying for a customer service position for Google? I'm not sure it's that relevant. So always look into the relevance. The same with the LinkedIn. If your LinkedIn is hardly filled with anything because you just graduated, maybe it's not that relevant to link to. But on your CV, if you have years and years on background in different fields, and one page on your CV is not going to hold all that information, by all means, link to your LinkedIn. But relevance, you have to think about that.
Yeah. And do you think like it's going really like the extra step but there is a lot of people that also like buy a domain with their name just to have like a website for themselves, like to like showcase themselves no matter what, no, not even if they are looking for something, but just to have like a their name kind of saved up for themselves and not someone that can put anything around above their name. Do you think that that's a kind of a good strategy to have like a personal website just to showcase like what you are, who you are, and what you do?
I'll say yes,
Yes, it sounds
because
very
like our social presence is important, and even though it might not be important right now, I mean, domains are getting bought up really fast. So if your domain name is actually available, do that. Also, in that way, if you're a bit more technical into it, you can actually control what Google shows first of you. So instead of just going all random with it, you can actually control that with your domain name. That's going a bit more technical into it. But yeah, do that.
Yes,
Go
yes.
ahead.
Or hire someone as well. Or also, there's online websites that can do it for you here today. But yeah, it doesn't cost much to do, and I think you'll stand out so much from the crowd because there is a lot of people doing this, but sending a website of you about you and stated like this. But also keep it simple as much as possible and clear. It just needs to look professional, but not too detailed because then it's just too much, for the recruiter. But definitely will stand out with something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think that's sometimes like maybe misunderstood. I mean, buying a domain like usually like less than 20 euros a year. So like if you've got your name, as you said, like before someone actually takes it, especially like if you've got like quite a common name or something, you can have like this element to like differentiate yourself. That's for sure. That's for sure. Do you guys what things like do you guys look first like on someone's profile when you're looking at it? Like, do you go straight like for? I mean, I assume it depends also on the platform you're on, but like, what the first thing you're going through, like, is it experience, or you're looking directly at the background of the person, or like all the like identity pieces, like where is he coming from, what is he doing, or anything?
I'm superficial. I'm a human being. I look at the picture. And
Yeah,
I'm not judging. I'm just
that's
looking at the picture to see. It's the same. Well, I'm sorry, but if you come up to me and you say hi, I give you the elevator. Just split second. I just like, okay, who is that person in front of me? How do they look? And it's not like looking at how good you look or how posh or fancy or what you're wearing. It's just scanning your face. And it gives me, and then I would scroll down. But scanning your face, that's the first thing I do. That's why I advise people today, especially when they're looking for jobs where interviews might be over Skype or Microsoft Teams or Zoom. Put on a picture, put a professional picture on, because if the first picture I see is one with the bunny ears and Snapchat filter, I'm not going to take you serious.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a solid piece. Yeah, the picture. I've received many emails without a picture on them, and the difference is immediate. As soon as you open it, you like have to read through to see to try and understand the character, the persona of this person, and what he did. Okay, yes, when you see a picture, you understand. And then you put that together and put it with the picture. It just gives you such a solid picture image of the character and the personality.
yeah. And
And when that being said, I'm actually looking at the contact informations, because believe it or not, some people send a beautiful CV but forget to put their phone number or email.
yeah.
I mean, I actually like picture information. Okay, it's there. I know that if I like this profile, the education, the everything, then I can go on. All of that being said, there are some companies that are using robots algorithms to scan the CVs, so people have to remember that.
Yeah.
It's simple.
But
CV has to be
as
simple.
also as you talked about, like I mean, even if you're looking like if you don't look at a CV, but you have like, for example, a LinkedIn or a Facebook profile or anything, or even Instagram profile. I mean, of course you could like send direct messages, but like you gotta keep in mind that like the main part of you guys' job is also through having emails or having Skype calls and everything. So of course, if you don't like I mean, if you don't have all this information, it's like way harder for you guys, and it's like extra steps that puts you like behind candidates that already gave their number because they are easier to join. So that's also a big thing to like to think about. Even if we can send you direct messages on Facebook, it's better to have like through email. So that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna elaborate on the website thing basically. I mean,
Yeah.
as you know, through our website to Job Squad, they can apply over there, and you can do all this. Send your CV and put all your details, and everything will come out so clean in our system. Where then not only will you don't need to go out and search so much on the outside through our website. You can actually get all these companies that we work with, and you'll have your profile beautifully placed. We also will help you put it together and make sure that it looks great. And the possibility of all these companies seeing your profile to get to know you. And obviously, you can apply to anyone, whereas we will professionally guide you to show you off basically to these companies, giving you the best possible image you could get, because you have a middleman kind of showing you through, and this is all for free basically. So
I think like to touch on the subject that you talked about at first when you guys talked about like the fear of having like all your data like taken away or something. That's always a fear on the internet for everywhere you're posting, but using that through the website and giving information, you actually control the information you want to give. You have to give like as much as possible, of course, to help, but you also have the ability to control which email address you want to give, which number you want to give. I mean, you're sharing only what you want to share, and the ways and the data you.
It's also going into a safe system, because a lot of people, when I ask them if they approach me over social media, they start sending their CV over social media, which is not a safe way to do it.
Yeah.
You need to apply either via email, and you need to make sure that people are respecting GDPR. There are data policies that are to be respected. And if you apply via a set website, you can see the data policy that the website is having. If you can't, please ask for it. But a way for you to actually engage in this is that you can make sure that your policy, your data is kept safe. Sorry for that. So I will always, if you see links like that via websites, check out the website, check out that they have a GDPR policy, and then you can apply there. It's much safer than sending your CV and all your personal information over Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram.
Yeah, because I mean, like people, there is like it's such a pain like the GDPR, because it serves to protect people, so that's like a really strict rules, and there's like a ton of things to be kept safe, kind of. So of course, like if you go through a website, that might be way like safer for you guys. I mean, for candidates in general to send all the information, because that's way safer than just sending through a private DM that you don't know about. And also, like you can see when you are sending an email or you have a recruiter's email, that you can directly see like the safer route.
And then also remember that the things you're sending over internet, it can go far away. Like this is using the internet 101. Don't type out where you live. It's not even necessary on a CV. Nobody's going to send you a present or the contract. It will be sent over email. So date of birth, social security numbers, don't put them out there. Don't put them on. Pictures of your ID card, no matter where it's ID card, passports, unless people are asking for it and you know it's in a safe space. Don't send your picture of your passport over email. There are identity thieves out there, and they don't think twice about using your data if it's easily accessible, and it is if you send it in an unsafe space.
Yeah, I think as you said, like like if we come back to the like displaying information on our social profile, Facebook, LinkedIn, and everything, I think like the biggest one is just to have like a kind of a safe email, like one that you don't mind sharing, that you can put on all your profiles, so that way you know that this is the only information that people can actually see, but they have a sure way and a good way to contact you and to share with you information. And then that's the safer route from emails, and then afterwards they're gonna, like, the recruiters are gonna talk to you about where you can actually send your like more private information. But yeah, what do you guys recommend, still on the defense of things to not include maybe in all the profiles, but the things that you recommend not to include necessarily, like in like your Facebook profile or Instagram or LinkedIn, because you guys are double checking on the profile. Of course, you're looking at what the person is actually doing and what they do actually in their life. So
On a CV, for instance, it's nice to have references, but right in the bottom, references on request. I don't want to have an A4 page of all the references and the phone numbers for these people right away, because if it's not needed for the job, it's just a waste of scrolling time. So in the bottom of your CV, if you have nice references, say references upon request. Don't send me all the information about your former employers. It's not necessary to as a start.
Okay, and what about you? Like, if you've got anything, Nico, about more maybe like just on the social media.
Political views, I think, can be a bit misleading to people, especially when you open a Facebook and you see all these political views, and this guy is really into his, unless you're applying for a political. But you know what I mean, the negative ones, look what happened in Israel today, or look what this, and all these negative statements all the time, paints a picture of you being a pessimist, as a
I quit this job because the salary wasn't good. Keep that to yourself. No, but it is like I used to be in sales, but all these shitty people saying no all the time, I got tired of them. It's okay to say to talk about, but maybe don't put it in writing, and it can be presented in a nicer way. So definitely with Nick on that one.
Yeah. I mean, mainly on Facebook, I was still talking, but definitely on the same page on the CV. Yes.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like you can have like opinions on, or like even where you worked, you used to work, but like maybe put it in a different manner, or as you said, like at least like if you really want to like let it on your profile, just do it in private, or just something that where only you or some of your friends can see it, and not everybody. Otherwise, I mean, it can create a lot of that can fire back to to you, and just like you shoot yourself in the foot for nothing. That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. That's very true.
I want to say something else. Like it's touching upon this point that we're chatting about now. Is I think for my age, I'm in the beginning of my 30s. Don't tell people.
21.
But 21, always 21. But the internet came out in my very young years, if you say so. It got mainstream. In the beginning, you had to beg your mom and dad if you could take up the phone line, and then you could sit and then you could chat in all these MSN chat rooms and stuff. And back then there was a lot of weird websites. Some of those weird websites, they're still out there, and Google are still scrolling through them. You might had a block when you were 13 years old or 14 years old. You might have there's a lot of information out there from the moment you log on, and that information is still there. And depending on how present you are on social media today, and what kind of social media platforms, how strong they are on Google ratings, and then that will come up first. All pictures of you that are tagged in another profile on Facebook will also come up and link to your name. All of this goes hand in hand. With that being said, it's not a scary campaign. Please be present on social media, do all this, but just think about, try to Google yourself. Try to log on another computer and Google yourself and see what comes up.
Yeah, you can also do that through a private navigation, like when you're on Chrome, like go directly on that and you Google yourself, so you have like results of what what actually is displayed when you're typing your name.
Yeah, if you were in a newspaper article, all of this still is online on Google and in other search platform, Bing's, whatever there is. So what you can do if you think, okay, I mean, for me, now I work at Job Squad, it's fine. We're very open here, so it's fine. But if I wanted to delete some of this information or find some of the information, because the things that doesn't come up necessarily on Google right away still might be there. But if I were to marry a prince, the people behind the whole establishment of a royal family, they would go in and look at what is online, what can we find on Linda online, and they will do what they call a princess treatment, which basically means that when the prince find a random girl like me to marry, I need to look clean. All these like old drunken photos, they cannot be out there. All my crazy parties in Ibiza and stupid student trips and whatnot, old blogs from I was 13 years old, they cannot be around because the medias will pick up on it. So you can do a princess treatment on yourself. You can actually buy people to do that. So are you actually applying for a job where your status on social medias and all of this, are you going to be a prominent figure out in the world? Are you going to be in the medias? You can actually buy people to do that for you. So all this crap, I will call it, disappears. It goes away. It gets deleted. So that's just a little trick. If you feel like it's time to clean out and start on a clean slate on social medias and on your online presence, you can do that. If you're not good at it yourself, you can pay people to do it. That was just a little tip. Sorry.
No,
No, I mean, coming from the other side as well, even when you're looking up a company, I always suggest to them to do like the company's name and then write reviews or complaints, even. Then you know what you're dealing with exactly, have an idea at least, But please keep an open mind depending on the company and how many people they recruit, because you always find bad reviews. If it's a huge company with a bunch of, employees, there's always going to be a disgruntled one between them.
If it's as Nick says, like if you see a review and you're like, oh, that doesn't sound good, like, oh, what is this about? You can always ask. If you have an interview and you went in to see this, it's okay to always do it in a polite way, but always say like, hey, you know what, I googled the company, I wanted to know more about you, I looked also at some reviews, and unfortunately I fell over this review. They're saying that you're not paying your employees on time. What is that all about? If you ask in a nice way and you link the people to actually saying, I found it on this and this website, is it valid? Like, can you tell the story about maybe this bad review? What happened? Is this something that is frequently, So always remember that people go in and make reviews when they're angry. It's really fair. Not that many people, unless they're asked to do it, they go in and say like, woo, I had the best experience, because they're
that's really
busy
true.
enough doing that on Facebook and on Instagram, not on a specific review site.
Yeah, that's true. I think like on both sides of the spectrum, like even for yourself or for the company you're applying to, like you need to like do same as we talked about many times, do a little bit of investigation, like be a stalker, like to everything that has happened, like all the reviews that are coming, all the information that you can find. Like just try and Google yourself, the company, and find like the reviews, the thing that they are talked about, the latest news or anything that could like have happened and everything. And that's a good way like to as also to link everything. That's a good way to have questions to ask in the interview if you've got one in the company, because you can talk about this like present problems if they have so many, and they are more likely, I think, willing to talk and discuss about it with you because they have the full investigation. But I think you also need to like dig a little deeper than just one review. Like just try to find the whole spectrum and just not like bash the company because there was one bad review because they didn't pay someone. Just like try to find if it's like more frequent and a lot of people are talking about than just that. And that's the thing. The same for like your personal profile. I mean, if you Google yourself and you've got like different, as you talked about, ancient blogs or like past things that you talked about, or even an article that was written for yourself. There is positive and negative, but of course, like, I mean, you need to do a little cleanup of things that you really want to keep and things that you don't want to keep. I mean, I know that for myself, like, unfortunately, that's on the second page of Google. But when you Google myself, there is like a past blog when I was like 12 years old or something. There's nothing bad. It's just super cringe. That's all. But I mean, there was like
No, and it's I'm also not saying you have to delete it. If it's fun, if it's there, if it makes sense, if it doesn't harm anybody, it's okay to see that you have a past. It's not like you have to delete your entire past. But I know for sure that there are drunken photos of me many places, both on Instagram and on Facebook, probably on other people's blogs, because I like to party. I never done anything super bad, at least never got caught on camera with it, so I'm not too afraid of that. But still, if I were applying for a higher position, or if I was marrying a prince, I would most likely go in and start looking into deleting that, because
I think that's a good tip like you gave. Like just think about like if you were marrying like a prince or a princess. Like just go deep in everything that you represent towards the company or anyone that doesn't know you. Like anyone that never saw you before. Like what they would think of you if they saw what they are seeing right now. And of course, like the easiest way is to like Google or find on the internet everything that there is to know about you. So yeah, that's a bit true. Like give yourself a princess treatment.
I'm not actually sure if this is right, and maybe you guys can tell me, but I heard that if you actually have an active profile on LinkedIn, algorithms make LinkedIn go a little bit higher and more serious on Google than, for instance, Instagram and Facebook. Do you guys know if that's true? Because I just read it a few places that
Does it,
actually if you
it
are
ranks you
so
higher?
so it ranks higher. So for instance, like the more active I am on LinkedIn, if I input all my informations on LinkedIn and I'm actually active there every day, posting something or reading something or liking and commenting, actually my LinkedIn would be ranking first, which
Yeah.
is smart if you're looking for a job. That is not the first thing that comes up. It's not your Facebook or your Instagram, but your LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
Google
very
by
true
name,
statistic.
LinkedIn comes up as well. Sorry.
No, yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say like it's a very true statistic. I saw it as well because I saw that especially for recruiters because like the more recruiters spend time on LinkedIn searching or commenting or looking, posting and everything, the more they see a lot of candidates coming in, and that's the same in both ways because as you say, like I don't know exactly, of course I'm not an engineer, but how the LinkedIn algorithm works, but I know that it provides better ranking depending on your engagement with different posts. So of course if you're not touching at LinkedIn or not commenting or even not liking anything, I mean you won't be shown to everybody. So of course like even if it's just like leaving a comment on your like a friend's post because like they just got hired somewhere or they just did something that is really cool, you can also follow companies on LinkedIn, so you can have all this engagement that you can do. I mean it doesn't take long. Like you can have like you take a few minutes per day or every other day, like just to give a like, a comment or something, and it helps. Yeah, it's very true, it helps you ranking a bit better. That's true. So that's a good stat. Thanks. I mean, I didn't have like the precise statistic, but at least we've got the information.
It's a little tip.
That's a little tip. We like it.
Little tip.
Did you guys like have any info other things to add about your social media and like World Wide Web presence, or did we talk about all of it?
I think don't be too scared.
Yeah.
Yes, people can use your data, but are you smart about it? Don't put up where exactly you live. Don't put your phone number all over Facebook and everything. It's okay to have on your CV, but don't put your social security numbers. Don't put your bank account numbers. All of these things. Keep clever about it. And maybe you think it's really cute to have this topless photo of you because you look gorgeous, but maybe other people are not too interested, and algorithms today on most medias would probably really delete that. But just think about what I think my dad once asked me, what would your future self think about that? He
That's
just
nice.
like, yeah, you think it's really funny now, what would your future self think about you been doing this?
Yeah.
And I was, yeah, that was to shame me a little bit, I think, to kind of but I think it's a quite good tip when you're thinking about what you're doing online. What would if you look back at it in 10-15 years, would your future self be proud or would you be ashamed?
Yeah, take a step back to look at what it looks like, because of course on the moment like everything looks super cool, super nice and everything, but like if you take a few moments like to step back a bit and see how this would look like, yeah, that could help. That could help a lot. Yeah, I don't know, did you add like any other things, or I think we covered quite a lot today. That's kind of cool. Like I mean, people know that they need to not be scared about like social media and their internet presence, but they actually can benefit from it.
Yeah, especially German people. There's a lot of German people who are afraid. I noticed, like most German profiles, they don't show their face. There's little amount of information. I mean, it must be a thing in Germany specifically, I'm assuming. But obviously they're afraid. They come to a recruitment agency. I think maybe they know at least okay who they're going to. It's not a random person. So at least it's a different way to approach things. Then I guess.
Yeah, just put
I
like
think they're told in a very young age about what can happen if all your information is online. And a lot of German people don't use credit cards either because it has a lot of your data and it's easier to break into than having a normal, like, yeah, I have cash on me. So it is different from culture to culture. I realized that a lot of French people don't have LinkedIn. They never really spoke about that. Never really. What's that all about, Romain? Can you explain that to us?
I think we never talked about it. I mean, we don't like we never teached about like the whole like profile thing. Like we never really talked to build our profile for the future for recruiting and everything. Like we never have classes or never have like things that are talked about to create a LinkedIn profile, to create a CV, to do interviews. Like usually, like that's why there's like a scam-ish business, because people are wanted to be coached on how to like really be hiring, but of course there is like real coaches that know what they are talking about and people that don't know what they are talking about, as always. But that's, yeah, I think that's kind of a like educational thing that we are not really taught about how to manage that and to create our profiles on the internet. That should be classes that we have in France, and like things that they need to think about, especially in higher like education systems. Like if you go to high school or if you go to do a bachelor or master degree, like they don't even talk to you about that. So
Happy to help you make a CV.
yeah.
Oh, I think there's a delayed.
Oh, I think
Sorry.
that was me.
Just a little advertisement. Nick would be happy to help you make your CV and get you a job abroad. He always happy to give a little nice tip and trick on your LinkedIn, or if you need help with your social presence to get you a job.
Yeah. Make you look professional for free.
That's cool.
For free.
Super dope. Well, thanks a lot, guys. That was super nice. I'm just gonna cut it because I'm starting to have the sun at middle of my face right now, so I'm just cooking.
Yeah, getting it done there. See on the toes.
Yeah, I'm just basically cooking like right now. Like I don't know if like it's like 25 degrees outside and it's sunny, so I'm not fish. I'm cooking.
Well, it looks like a good place you're sitting. So
it is.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much, guys.
See you guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.